Hey everybody, it is time. I feel like I made something. It's been a while, and in the midst of this whole coronavirus stuff, I basically am not able to teach. I'm not allowed to see my kids. Luckily, I do have a 4-month-old puppy at this point, and I spend a lot of time teaching him, but I feel this need to be like teaching or speaking. I had one, maybe two thoughts that I felt like it was essential to share with anybody that I care about. Okay, with this time that we have off from school, and that some of us have off from work, and that some of us have to take away from other people, this is a perfect opportunity to work on ourselves. And that is not something that most of us are very good at doing or really enjoy doing, and we probably don't do it very often because we don't enjoy doing it. And so the only way to enjoy something is to get better at it. Time plus effort equals being good at something, and also enjoyment of the thing itself. That applies to reading, that applies to playing music, that applies to training a dog. I'm so bad at it and it's so hard, but I know it's gonna get easier if I just keep trying over and over. I can't give up, right? If I give up, it stays hard and then it doesn't pay off. But if I spend more time with my pup and I spend more time training him, then the rest of his life is gonna be awesome for me. If I practice guitar, and I hate it at first because my hands feel like not hands, the more you do it, the more it starts to feel like a second language. And what are we doing with our lives if not trying to learn other languages of some sort? And what I mean by that is, like, if you're trying to get a job, you have to speak the language of that job. If you want to be a social worker, you have to speak the social work language. If you want to play music, you have to speak the musical language. And I guess if you don't want to be all artsy-fartsy about it, they're just called skills, right? You just have to know different skills in life.
You asked anybody yet?
No, but who would? I don't even have any good skills.
The better you are at a skill, the more money you make, and the more success you feel, and the more fulfillment you have doing the thing. I was lucky enough to find the guitar in middle school. I didn't find the guitar, like the guitar found me kind of thing, right? My grandma got me a really like dinky, small guitar. It was nylon string from like Walmart. My old band director used to say, never buy an instrument from the same place you can buy toilet paper. This little small guitar was like a few bucks from Walmart, and it changed my life. I was able to get good at this guitar thing because I practiced, but the only way that I could practice a lot was to have time. Like, you just need time. I gained structure in my life very, very early because all I wanted to do was play guitar. So I would go to school and I would get home, and immediately I would do my homework. We would have dinner. I'd get my homework done before dinner. After dinner, I would just play guitar for the rest of the day. And then when I went into high school and I had to learn how to play drums for drumline, it was the same thing, but instead of playing guitar, I played drums. And that's how I got good at those things. I really realized it's not hard to get good at something. It feels bad to get good at something, but all it takes is time and not giving up. So I was lucky to learn those languages at an early age, and I was able to learn how to get good at things at an early age. But the thing that got harder as I got older was that there was less and less time to get good at those things. While I was teaching this year, I barely had any time to do some of the things that I wanted to do, like write a book or read more books or do this and do that and do this and do that. And like, really, I had some time, but it was easier to make excuses because all of my energy was going elsewhere. Because I wanted to do good at guitar, I got really good at school, so I could just get my schoolwork done really fast. Like, I had something to live for and something to work for, and so because I had that one thing in my life, everything around it couldn't help but get better too. Because when your life is focused on something or two things or something like that, everything kind of converges to make that come to life and come to reality for you. You just have to set those expectations, right? And so what all of this is to say is that right now, We have so much time on our hands as teachers, as students, and as people who are like not working or not allowed to work, aren't working essential jobs. We have so much time to put that time in towards something we really love. Are we all finding that thing that we want to do, or are we just hoping that once we get to college, I'll figure it out? Because like that's not always gonna work out in our favor. And that feeling of being lost and not knowing what you want is debilitating. Another important thing is even trying to figure out what you might be interested in. So what I like to ask people is, if you had all the time and money. No, no, you can't have that. No, I need this. No. In the world, and you could get good at any one skill tomorrow and just be the best at it, what would it be? Or if you could get paid a bunch of money to do one thing, what would it be? It can be anything. I don't want you to think that there are any stupid ideas. You can choose hunting. I know some people who are like professional bow hunters. It can be ice skating. It can be Fortnite. It can be Minecraft. It can be art. It can be any number of silly things. It can be comic books. It can be interpretive dancing. Good boy. Thank you. I don't care. If you could be 100% good at it and mastered at it by tomorrow, what would that thing be? Or if you didn't have to worry about food or money or having a job or any of that, what would you spend your time doing? What would be fun for you? If you didn't have to go to school, what would you be doing instead? If you didn't have to work, what would you be doing instead? Another question to ask yourself is, what do you want an average day in your life to look like? From waking up all the way to going to bed at night, what do you want that day to look like for you? Another kind of question is, what kind of people do you want to be around? Do you want to be alone? Do you need to work in a group? And like, what kind of hobbies or activities lend themselves to, being alone or working in a group? Another thing to think about is, what are you already kind of good at? What kind of things do you like to do for fun? What kind of things have you been good at in the past? Like for me, I was really good at music. Do I do anything with music now anymore? No. Maybe music is my one true passion because I discovered it so early. Like, I don't know. What kind of things speak to you? Do you love to listen to music? Is that all you do 24/7? Do you like to perform for people? Do you watch a lot of movies or YouTube? If you watch a lot of YouTube, like, what kind of stuff do you spend a lot of time watching? Is it like makeup tutorials or something? Like, do you want to be a makeup artist? Do you want to work in movies? Do you want to do special effects makeup? Do you watch movie making stuff? Do you want to do like special effects and design or graphic design? Or you can think of, what person would you want to switch places with? What celebrity? What kind of person in the public sphere? Would it be your favorite YouTuber? Would it be an actor from a movie? Or would it be a character from a book? The biggest thing this requires you to do is use your imagination, because once you think of those things, you have to imagine yourself in their place. You have to imagine yourself as a professional ice skater. Like, what does their day look like, right? So you got to do a lot of daydreaming. And often while I was in school and while I was in college, like, I spent all of my time basically not necessarily paying attention in class, but like half paying attention and also half daydreaming about what I really wanted to do and what I wanted to be with my life. So those are all some ways to start thinking about what you might want to do or be, or what you might want to get good at, or what might be fun and fulfilling to you. So try out those thought experiments. For me recently, since I got this dog, everything has been kind of crazy, because when I had this puppy and I was teaching, I had like zero time. Like, if I was not teaching, I was watching this dog incessantly. And so when I did get a free moment, I was like, oh my gosh, I have free time. Like, I could get out of the house. I was like, what do I do with myself? I have so much free time. And before I had the dog and I was just teaching, it was hard for me to get off of my butt and go work on the book that I wanted to write, or even start, because I made all these excuses like, well, I don't even have any good ideas. Well, I can't even write that well. Like, it's not even gonna get published. It's not even gonna make me money. What's the point? So I had all of these thoughts. I had all of these thoughts going on and on and on and on, instead of just sitting down and starting. Like, duh, it's not gonna be good. Like, I haven't written a full novel since like 2013. What do I expect? To write like the next Harry Potter? my expectations are far too high. But what happened was the second that I lost all of my free time by getting this puppy, the moment that I did find free time, I was like, I have to write my book. I have to sit down and write. I have to sit down and do something that's gonna get me closer and just feel more fulfilled. And so without even setting too many goals, I've already written like over 2,000 words or something, which doesn't sound like much, but in how much I've written for me personally and like creatively, that's a lot. So in the midst of all of this, what I want you guys to do, and in my mind, my audience is like my students, because I was extremely sad when I found out that I wouldn't get to be around y'all anymore. But I also saw it as an opportunity, like I can spend time making these videos for y'all, specifically about things that we might not get to talk about in school. However, y'all know me, and if I didn't bring up a book, I wouldn't be myself. As many of you know, there's a book that is ancient and famous, and it's called The Art of War. He wrote it, and it was a bunch of strategies of war. However, the cool thing was it was like a philosophy on life. It was like, if you have these challenges and the way you want to overcome it, you have to use this war strategy. And you could use it all the way from war all the way to doing house chores. But what this guy did, he took the two main words and switched them, and now we have The War of Art. And this is by Stephen Pressfield. What it is, it's just like little small thoughts, the same style of The Art of War, but it's all about being creative and fulfilling dreams that you might have for yourself. This guy is a writer. He writes books about history and stuff. So mainly what creative act and skill this focuses on is writing. So while he talks about writing, you have to take it with a grain of salt and apply it to the thing that you think you might want to do. Okay, so let me read you this first page. This is his process, okay? It's titled What I Do. I get up, take a shower, have breakfast. I read the paper, brush my teeth. If I have phone calls to make, I make them. I've got my coffee now. I put on my lucky work boots and stitch up the lucky laces that my niece Meredith gave me. It's about 10:30 now. I sit down and plunge in. When I start making typos, I know I'm getting tired. That's 4 hours or so. I've hit the point of diminishing returns. I wrap for the day. Copy whatever I've done to the disk and stash the disk in the glove compartment of my truck in case there's a fire and I have to run for it. I power down. It's 3:30. The office is closed. How many pages have I produced? I don't care. Are they any good? I don't even think about it. All that matters is I put in my time and hit it with all I've got. All that counts is that, for this day, for this session, I have overcome resistance. The whole point is like, he sits down, he does it. If it's bad, it's bad. But what's important to him and what's like sacred to him is that he just sat down and did the time in the chair writing. And that's the hardest part. And his favorite word in this whole book is overcoming resistance. Resistance is the thing that keeps us from doing the thing that we know is best for us, and the thing we know deep down we really want to do and achieve. The next one is titled What I Know. There's a secret that real writers know that wannabe writers don't. And the secret is this. It's not the writing part that's hard. What's hard is sitting down to write. What keeps us from sitting down is resistance. So writing is not the hard part. It's sitting down to write at all. Okay, I'm gonna keep going because I just want you to get the gist of everything that's going on here. This one is titled The Unlived Life, and I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Most of us have two lives, the life we live and the unlived life within us. Between the two stands resistance. Then it goes on to say, have you ever brought home a treadmill and let it gather dust in the attic? Ever quit a diet, a course of yoga, a meditation practice? Have you ever said you wanted to do these things, but you ended up not doing it? Late at night, have you experienced a vision of the person you might become? The work you could accomplish? The realized being you were meant to be? Are you a writer who doesn't write? A painter who doesn't paint? An entrepreneur who doesn't start a new venture? Then you know what resistance is. Resistance is the most toxic force on the planet. It is the root of more unhappiness than poverty and disease. To yield, to give in to resistance, the voice that makes us not want to do things, deforms our spirit It stunts us, keeps us from growing, and makes us less than we are and were born to be. Have you ever heard this story? A woman learns she has cancer, 6 months to live. Within days, she quits her job, resumes the dream of writing Tex-Mex songs she gave up to raise a family, or starts studying classical Greek, or moves to the inner city and devotes herself to tending babies with AIDS. Woman's friends think she's crazy. She herself has never been happier. There's a postscript. Woman's cancer goes into remission. Is that what it takes? Do we have to stare death in the face to make us stand up and confront resistance? Look in your own heart. Unless I'm crazy right now, a small voice is piping up, telling you as it has 10,000 times, the calling that is yours and yours alone. And if you were in my class, we were talking about World War II and the Holocaust and all that kind of stuff. He's written something about Hitler. You know, Hitler wanted to be an artist. At 18, he took his inheritance, 700 kronen, and that's a lot of money, I guess, and moved to Vienna to live and study. He applied to the Academy of Fine Arts, and later to the School of Architecture. Ever see one of his paintings? Neither have I. Resistance beat him. Call it an overstatement, but I'll say it anyway. It was easier for Hitler to start World War II than it was for him to face a blank square of canvas. So while I'm saying this to you and everybody out there, I'm also saying this to myself, and I'm also practicing this right now as I'm out about in public recording a video. There's a lot of resistance to not do this for me because it's not something I'm used to and it's not something I've done for a while, but I made a video the other day and I sat down to edit it for like, less than an hour, and I was like, I want to do more of that. Why don't I do more of that? And I like to use this word faith, and I kind of have my own definition for it. And this is faith, especially regarding this whole concept of resistance and trying to become the person you know you want to be. To sit down and put time into something that you love and that you think you might love, or just try a new hobby, or anytime you spend time and you think it might be wasted, you have to have faith. You have to have faith that if you put time in, you will get something out. If you've heard the phrase, you get out what you put in, you have to have faith that that system and that equation works. And the thing that's hard for me when I'm writing is that I don't have faith. It's really easy for me to lose faith in that creative writing space, because if I get out what I put in, then I put in a lot of work, I should get a lot of money. But that's not how that works, right? People have to write 10 novels or something like that before they even publish one. But what I did feel is that what I put in, I got out in fulfillment, in the feeling that I said to myself, oh man, maybe you can really do this. Maybe you do really enjoy this. Maybe you really do have a voice. Maybe you do have something to say. That was my payment in those small 2,000 words that don't mean anything to anybody else but myself. And that's where I have to put my faith, is that, it will pay off for me, and that making these videos will also pay off for me in many different ways, and maybe ways that I can't even perceive yet. So what I charge you to do, think about that thing that gives you resistance. What do you want to do, but you're like, nah, it's not really gonna be worth it. I'm gonna fail. Like, it's not really gonna work out for me. It's just gonna be a waste of time. What is that thing? And what is that resistance in your head? What is it telling you? Why are you telling yourself that? Okay, we have so much time right now, and while your worth as a human being is not measured in productivity, life is a gold mine that deserves to be digged. And everybody is provided to some extent with a pickaxe to do that mining. We can sit around and look at the pit that is life, or we can get in there, get active, get digging, and see what we can find. Okay, because like in Minecraft, sometimes there's like underground castles that are super cool and worth exploring. Sometimes you fall in the lava, but you just respawn, you come back and you try again. Am I right? What a lame metaphor that was. So let's all try our best to use this time away from each other to focus a little bit on ourselves and what might bring us personal confidence. Because when you spend your time on these things and you find out that, oh wow, I am getting better. You found out like, wow, I can affect the world. I can change how my world looks by my own effort. I don't need anybody else. All I need is myself and my time and my effort. And I'm gonna leave it there. I hope everybody is having a fun time being quarantined. I beg you, don't watch this video and then be like, huh, that's a good thought. Like, listen to this video, get like a journal, get some paper, write down, what do you think this thing is? Okay, do something about it. Don't just watch this like it's another video and then go about your day, go about your life, and then think about it for like 2 seconds a day. Like, no, sit down right now, do something about it, because this time will not last. Okay, your time only goes away. You only get less and less time as life goes on. So it is important that we figure out how to use this time in the best way possible as soon as possible. Have a good day, be safe, have fun, find that thing for you, and I swear it'll be worth it.